Welcome, everybody. My name is Rebecca Denise, and we are on the Bucket List Show today. So thank you for listening and watching. I'm here with my host, Tammy, and today we also have Maria Reyes from SouthState Bank. But just to show you or tell you a little bit about the Bucket List Show, we created this because we're here to serve you to fill your bucket so you could have a most abundant life. And my bucket list and your bucket list are going to be different, but we wanted to bring this all together and share content and information. So today we do have Maria from SouthState Bank. We know a lot of things have been going on in the housing market. I was recently in Connecticut, and they're having the same thing. People are moving all over the country, so you're very busy with volume. Same with the realtors. So it definitely is a tough time to find housing. Yes. But, you know, you have to work with the right people. And then that's what we have for today. So I'm going to let Tammy jump in, and she's going to, ask you some market questions, and we'll go from there.
Hello, Maria. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm very happy to have you. Maria Reyes is the Assistant Vice President, Mortgage Banker with SouthState Bank, and welcome to our show.
Well, thank you for having me at your show.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. So we're going to start off today talking about some things about yourself. So tell us about your role with SouthState and what you do for them.
Yes, I'm the mortgage banker for SouthState Bank. I'm the mortgage banker in Port St. Lucie in particular, but we lend everywhere. We're in more than 5 or 6 states now.
Of course.
And I only do residential mortgages. Some people call me for other types of mortgages, but I am the residential lender.
Okay.
Yes.
Good. So, one of the things we want to focus on today is how we can help bring some great information to the listeners, the people who are watching the podcast. And we want to be able to help some of those first-time home buyers, those people who are in need of a VA or an FHA buyer. And we're in such an active market today. They're really up against some cash buyers as well. Right. So, could you talk to us a little about what some of the challenges are with first-time home buyers and some of the things that SouthState can do to help them?
Well, I'm so glad that I'm with SouthState because we have a beautiful program that it's called the Buyer's Advantage Program. It's a conventional loan, not a government loan. And believe it or not, for your primary residence, we can lend up to 100% of the purchase price.
That's
if
amazing.
You qualify.
That is nice.
Yes. And not only that, we do not charge mortgage insurance.
Oh,
and you know how
that was going to be a
when you don't put 20% down, you have that payment in your monthly payment. That's mortgage insurance that really doesn't help the borrower much. It's an insurance for pretty much the lender.
Right, exactly.
So this is a community program for us. Although we love numbers and we try to help, this one is really a community outreach type of program. And just at Barron Real Estate, where I sit at twice a week, I've helped quite a few. And there's many ways to qualify with it. It's quite a high-risk loan for our bank because it's 100% financing and no mortgage insurance.
Right.
But we're bold enough to offer it to people who actually can qualify for it, and it's for real.
Now, could you share some of the basic qualifications for
sure.
someone to qualify for this type of program?
Right. So most programs for first-time buyers are usually like income-based. Right. And sometimes that's what happens. If you have an income limitation with the prices of homes, the homeowners don't qualify. Okay. Well, with our program, there's 2 other ways that you can get in. Let's say your income's too much, but you don't own a home and you're going to buy your first home. You can choose a home in a minority tract. And because we are so lucky in Florida that our population is so diverse, a lot of the areas qualify, and especially in South Florida. Okay. So I just helped somebody who made over $100,000, but he didn't have enough for the down payment. So I was able to put him in a 100% program. and he bought a house in Port St. Lucie in the price range of 400 something. Wow. So it's not that restrictive.
So it's not income required.
If you find a tract where that house is, your income doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah. The other way also that's not income based is if it is in what the census has identified to be in a low or moderate income area.
Yes.
So if it's in that, again, income doesn't come to play.
Now, can you define for us and for the people who are listening, what exactly makes a person a first-time home buyer? Sometimes we think of that, and it's not everything we think it is, right?
Right. So I have to tell you the standard first-time home buyer and our very special Buyer's Advantage home buyer.
Okay.
First-time buyer. Normally, a first-time home buyer is identified as somebody who has not owned a home in the last 3 years.
Okay.
And many of the programs, that's the requirement to be a first-time buyer. With our Buyer's Advantage, you just cannot have another home. So you could have had a home last year and you buy a home this year and you're still a first-time buyer for our Buyer's Advantage program at SouthState. So that's another good thing about our SouthState program.
Now, does this work predominantly for those who are going to be residing within that home? Strictly?
Yes, they have to reside in the home. They cannot have they can't have like non-occupying co-borrowers.
Gotcha.
Right? You know, sometimes you get your mom to sign with you. Well, this is really for somebody who's going to live there and qualify on their own.
Of course, makes sense.
And the requirements are not that stringent, I think. The credit score's like 640 or higher, so it's not that high. And the debt ratio is 45 if you know, if the score's a little higher. So I think it's very normal.
How is Go ahead. How is the rate comparable to like an FHA? I mean, obviously this program is much more cheaper as a past banker. And I know I have a current customer with you that I'm looking for a home for her. So how would we compare the rates? Is it relative?
FHA would be lower, I have to say. But that FHA monthly payment makes the payment of my Buyer's Advantage a little bit lower still.
Right. Because you're not having that FHA mortgage insurance.
Right. Okay. And when you compare it with the conventional, our rates are better, especially if the score is not as high.
Okay. And it's a 30-year program?
It's a 30-year program, correct. And the buyers can receive gifts on top of that. So we can finance it up to 100%, but the buyers still have to come up with their closing costs, right? Course. And you know, you both of you know how sellers are now not doing any seller concessions.
No,
so they
not.
still have to come up with the closing costs. And we have that provision that they can receive gifts from family members or, you know, their significant other. Right.
And so the pre-approval I have is relatively new, so we're just starting. And Tammy, I'm sorry I'm jumping in. I just thought of something. How is the reception of the program out in the marketplace? Because sellers who are selling their home, you know, a lot of times they don't want the FHA or the VA, which I find is unfortunate. But are they receptive to this program because it is technically conventional? So
it is funny because I get the calls directly from the listing agents. What is this program? It's 100%, but it's conventional. I'm like, it's for real. And I said, and that buyer is strong because that buyer would not have gotten a pre-approval from me if they were not strong because they have to be kind of strong a little bit.
Well, I mean, all the parameters make sense, but even 640, and if they do qualify, and just for all the listeners, so you know, when you're looking at the census, it's the government that's going to decide the minority percentage, or if it's in a lower and moderate income. It's obviously not the bank or the realtor, so it's standard, obviously, for every state.
But I've gotten pretty good reception. And also I have to say, when they kind of know that it's a local lender who's doing it, you know, they're like, oh, okay, we know SouthState, we know Maria, you know, or having been doing this for over 20 years.
Oh, good for you.
That's fantastic. So talk to me a little bit about the VA program. Do you do anything with veterans? We have so many veterans across the Treasure Coast. How are we helping our veterans on a lending level?
Right. We do have, I have been doing VA loans for a very long time. And that is definitely very advantageous for the veteran. And they deserve the good rate. They deserve
Absolutely.
the higher debt to income ratio that other programs may not allow.
Of course.
And so, because the VA has they can have a higher debt to income ratio, like up to 55, or really much higher than, or even higher sometimes. Yeah. So we really go out of our way for the veteran. Yes.
But they still qualify.
Yes,
That's true.
Yes,
and,
yes, because
I've
we
done
don't
a lot of VA loans too.
Right.
So hopefully, as we start sharing information,
Yes.
people will understand these programs are solid and they're viable.
Oh, yes.
Yes,
And,
they are.
sellers should consider that, especially on the VAs.
Yes. And what I always say is I don't want anybody to fail in home ownership because it's very traumatic for people. Sometimes the times, sometimes it's inevitable. But if we can not get to that from the start and do the legwork first before getting them into a house, it's worth it.
Right. I agree. And that's really, I'm sure some of you who are listening, you hear the Bucket List Show and you're asking us, why is it that we're covering this type of topic? And we are covering that topic because for many people, they're trying to initiate their first time of ever having a home. And we want to be able to share that information with the people who are listening. So we're going to take a quick break now for about 2 minutes, but we have a lot more to talk about with Maria when we return.
Summer is here, and it's a great time to create your outdoor room at Sunshine Furniture. Now, during our July clearance sale, you can save an additional 10% on all in-stock patio furniture from Lloyd Flanders, Woodard, Windward, Beechcraft, Pollywood, Berlin Gardens, and more. We're the outdoor furniture experts and have anything you need, all built to withstand the Florida elements, and we also specialize in cushions, umbrellas, outdoor rugs, and fire pits. For inside, we have the largest selection of coastal sofas, sleeper sofas, dining sets, recliners, and bedroom groups in light and airy coastal colors by Four Seasons, Capri, and Universal, including a gallery of Tommy Bahama. Come in now for our July sale, including 50% off all pictures, lamps, and accessories. Sunshine Furniture, $12.95 US 1 in the Publix Plaza, Vero Beach. Visit our website at sunshinefurniturecasual.com. Also, don't forget our outlet and sales center right across the street.
Sunshine Furniture.
For those tired of staring at laundry as it piles up, the answer is usually putting it off as long as possible. For most, there's not just another minute to squeeze into a day to get the laundry done. Sunshine Laundries can help. This is Tom Rhodes, owner of Sunshine Laundries, with a reminder that 5 of our locations offer drop-off service. We'll wash, dry, and fold. For locations and hours, we're at sunshinelaundries.com, and with laundromats all along the Treasure Coast.
At Compass Pest Control, we focus on killing pests where they live and breed by terminating them outside your home or office before they can get in. Hi, I'm Chris Hudman, co-owner of Compass Pest Control. We prevent roaches, ants, and other pests from getting inside with a proactive approach. We don't stop there. We also offer lawn and plant health programs. And we'll never sell you something you don't need. At Compass Pest Control, our prices are competitive, your satisfaction is guaranteed. Get a free estimate. Visit compasspests.com.
Welcome back, everyone. I am Rebecca from the Bucket List Show, and I am with our host also, Tammy, and then I still have Maria Reyes here.
Hello.
So another question that we want to ask, so the Bucket List Show is for Treasure Coast and beyond, but locally we have a program that's called, now I forgot it.
The
Hometown Heroes.
Yes.
So could you just share a little bit about that with us, Maria?
Yes, it's a program that comes out of Florida Housing, so it's for all of Florida, and it is for our heroes, like our teachers, our firemen, policemen, our nurses, doctors, etc.
Fantastic.
So yes,
great.
And it's a first and second mortgage, and it's not a grant. But I think it has a very good dynamic because you get your first mortgage as normal. It can be a conventional loan with as little as 5% down, or FHA or VA.
Okay.
A 3.5% down for FHA, or 0% with VA. And then the Hometown Hero has a second, they call it a silent second mortgage. It has no payments and 0% interest. You do have to pay it when you sell your house or you refinance, but then again, it replenishes the bucket. Another first-time buyer will be able to purchase that. So I think that's very, very interesting. And the second mortgage is 5% of the loan amount, or $25,000, whichever is less. So it's a significant amount that you get help with. Yeah.
Has the program been busy?
I haven't actually closed one yet. It only started July 1st.
Okay.
So, but we've been trained on it, and I've done bond loans in the past. So those are Florida housing loans too. So, but it's nice that our state of Florida, is recognizing. What they're strict about is you have to have some kind of certificate. So if you're a CNA, you have to have a Florida certificate. So you can't just say, well, I'm a nurse,
or you can look at
or call yourself
license,
a nurse.
Right?
Yes,
the license.
Exactly. You need a license so that anybody can just baptize themselves and call themselves a nurse, or let's say a security. You have to have some kind of license so that it can be monitored.
Of course.
So, yeah.
What a great program.
Yes, that's really, really very,
it's
very...
so needed, especially obviously in these times.
Right.
So that's fabulous.
So when the first-time home buyers come, I usually look at the two programs, if they qualify for the Hometown Hero, or then we have also the Buyer's Advantage, where doesn't matter
so
what
the Hometown
profession.
Heroes is for first-time home buyers also.
Also, correct.
Anywhere within Florida. Okay.
Yes.
So we could list that on our Facebook page and share more information.
And that one, you have to not have owned a home in the last 3 years. Because that's the standard.
The first-time home buyer.
First-time home buyer.
We definitely want to make sure we share that on our Facebook page, The Bucket List Show. And make sure that we get that information out there. It is considered a bond or grant funded program?
It is from a Florida Housing, and it's not a grant because it's repayable.
That's repayable.
So it's not a gift or a grant, but it is a second mortgage, and it's truly a soft second. You have no payments on it. Many people forget when they sell their houses 15 years from now. I've had that, with all those SHIP programs that have to get paid. That they forgot that they had it. But then I always say, when people are like, what? We have to pay it back? I say, but then you'll help the next person.
That's right.
You've already made your equity.
That's
so hopefully,
true.
It's always it's like a rotating
It's a great
thing.
pay it forward program.
Exactly.
It's a way to give back, so it makes sense to help others.
Well, and it gets people who are so hardworking, so dedicated, especially in the last 2 years. Some of the things with our nurses and our veterans and some of the things that they have been going through. It's going to help them become the homeowners that they're trying to become today.
Exactly.
Fantastic.
It's nice that it's beyond not just the doctors or the nurses, it's the CNA, and they expand it.
Teachers,
Teachers.
Police
By the way, most
officers.
doctors, I forgot to mention, it is definitely income-based. But the income is much higher than the standard bond loans before. It's $120,000 in St. Lucie County.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Income-wise.
So that's for a new
much
resident.
Yes.
Obviously, with here, the more people we get, the more medical care we need. So you're constantly seeing how Cleveland Clinic or other places are growing.
Right. And with our growing population, which we've seen such a huge influx
I know.
this county and south into St. Lucie County.
Right.
Definitely there's a need there for this type of program. So that's very exciting. Thank you for sharing that.
And being Filipino, there's so many Filipino nurses in every hospital. So I've gotten a lot of inquiries.
Oh, that's good.
And what languages do you speak? Because we didn't share that.
Yes, I'm of Filipino descent, and so I speak 3 dialects in Filipino. And because we were under Spain for 300 years, I do speak Spanish too. Yes. So
Very good.
Yeah,
That'll be nice.
So I'm
I'll
an
have-
Asian Spanish-speaking person.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Listen, and they need that because we want the diversity. So it's nice that they know they can go to you and you could assist them with these different programs.
Right.
Okay. And with these different programs that you have, so what are your expectation with the current market prices, the overall housing market? Because we are seeing kind of a leveling. And the housing values are still hanging way up there. So, so what advice would you give a buyer, a prospective buyer that's coming into a market like this today?
I always will recommend that they get a home because it will help them all around, for taxes, etc. And even if, the interest rates have creeped up already, it's still not like when I bought my first house in the 80s where, it was
13.
Yes, correct. I was I had an advantage because my husband was a mortgage broker, and so I got 9.9 adjustable. Wow. So when people
that was good for the first year.
Right. So it's still a very viable market, and Florida is still a place to live and it's vibrant, and St. Lucie County itself too.
Okay, of course.
Yes. So I don't discourage anybody from buying a house. And I also always mention that whatever happens, that house of yours is where you are going to live, where you're going to make your memories, not just, I'm going to make $30,000, $40,000.
Yeah.
You have to ride the market, and because it is your shelter, then it's so worth it. That's what I think.
Yeah. It's not just a house, it becomes a home.
Yes,
and that's
exactly.
pretty much what I say to my customers.
In your mind thinking, I'm going to make the $50,000 in my first year, that's not, if you're an investor, okay, that's the mindset. But if you're buying your house, we're talking about first-time home buyers, think of it that it's going to be your home you're going to live in.
Yeah, it's not necessarily immediate.
They are trying to establish a place, whether, that is setting up in a specific area where they want to raise their children or help with raising their grandchildren.
Exactly.
So all of those things are superbly important.
Yes.
Now, before we wrap up, is there anything else you'd like to touch on that you didn't mention, Ms. Maria?
Yes, I'm very happy to be working at SouthState Bank because it's a bigger bank that has smaller qualities. I can still call an underwriter, my processor and all that. So because we are still not a huge bank, we offer different types of loans that many other banks don't even touch, like construction permanent loans. We do construction permanent loans.
There's a lot of building going on.
We do lot loans also, which not so many people, do those. And we do manufactured housing too.
Okay, that's fantastic.
Right.
Very good.
And many others.
Very good.
Well, thank you, Maria, for joining us and being a part of our new adventure. Before we end, tell everyone how they can connect with you directly. How do they reach you to apply for one of these awesome loans we talked about today?
Yes, well, first of all, if you Google me, you'll find me. But if you do www.southstatebank.com/Maria Reyes, that's my website too. And you can just fill in information in there. And or you can just call me at 772-200-0381.
Fantastic.
Or call Barron, and everybody knows my number there, or SouthState.
Well, to end the show, can you tell us, Rebecca, have you got a drop in the bucket for us
No, I
today?
don't have a drop in the bucket, except I would say, be kind. And we'll share the information for Maria and our stuff on the website. So thank you for watching today and tuning in. But again, just be kind.
Agreed. Absolutely. Thank you all so much for listening. Please continue to come back to see us, whether we're here live stream on Tuesdays at 3 p.m. and also on Sundays at 3 p.m. 101.7 FM is the replay. You can reach me, Tammy Crandall, at 772-579-9536. And Rebecca, where
my
can
number
I reach you?
is 203-482-7297. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Maria. You're welcome.
Thank you.